Peace, peace, this your host, Selah Shalom. And the topic of discussion today is called spirituality above nationality. Now, this can be a controversial topic for some because we have a lot of people who like to confess their nationality, which ain't nothing wrong with. You have many nationalities. You got the Moors claiming their nationality. You got the Israelites claiming their nationality. You got the Kemetic brothers and sisters claiming their nationality. You got Asians, Africans, people from India, all claiming nationality. In many circumstances, nationality keeps a people divided among each other. You hear people say, my nationality is better than your nationality, when two people are clashing about their nation. So nationality can stagnate your spiritual growth. And I'm speaking from the sense of spiritual progression, from the eyes of the Creator, not from the eyes of men. Spirituality supersedes nationality. Nationality relates more to the earth affairs, while spirituality relates more to heavenly affairs. Now, what is the destiny of mortals? In the book of Jehovah, chapter 2, verse 2, it states, Jehovah said, I created the earth and fashioned it, and placed it in the firmament, and by my presence brought man forth a living being. A corporeal body gave I him, that he might learn corporeal things. And death I made, that he may rise in the firmament and inherit my Etherian worlds. This states the inheritance of mortals is to reach the Etherian worlds, regardless of your nationality. That is the goal for every mortal being on the earth, and your nationality has nothing to do with reaching the Etherian worlds. Now, in order to reach Etheria, you have to have a grade of 99 in order to enter into the Etherian regions, as stated in the book of Divinity, chapter 6, verse 14. But grade 99 is the highest atmospherian grade, preparatory to entrance into the company of the all pure in spirit. Now, your grade is determined by what you do for others. The more you do for yourself, the lower the grade. The more you do for others, the higher the grade. And these grades determine where you would reside after death in the atmospheric realms belonging to the earth, whether it be the first, second, or third atmospheric plateau belonging to the planet. Now, in order to reach a grade 99, you have to sacrifice self for others, as stated in the book of Divinity, chapter 6, verse 5 and 6. Verse 5, he that serveth himself only shall stand at grade 1, which is the lowest atmospherian grade. Verse 6, he that serveth others wholly shall stand grade 99, which is the highest atmospherian grade. So the service done unto others determine your resurrection after death, whether you will reside in the first, second, or third resurrection after death. Now, the same way individuals are graded, nations are graded in the same manner, the service done unto others, as stated in the book of Divinity, chapter 9, verse 2 and 3, where it states, verse 2, nevertheless, a multitude of people make a nation, with cities and hamlets. Verse 3, these are also graded by thy God, according to the ascendancy or declination of the whole. Verse 4, if a city, then the grades of all the people shall be summoned together in a scale of 100. So the same rules apply to nations when it comes to service done unto others in righteousness. Now, the highest atmospherian grade is the third atmosphere belonging to the planet. In order to be in the company of the all pure, you have to be purged of nationality, pride, arrogance, and ego. Those who are not fit to be in the company of the all pure, the third heaven, are subjected to the second heaven, or second resurrection, after death, as stated in the book of Divinity, chapter 5, verse 10 and 11. Verse 10, if he does not yet comprehend faith in the all-person, he shall be granted freedom to all the places where he hath served or labored, and he shall be emancipated from all lords and gods, and from all labor and education, an honorable discharge to pursue whatever he desires in any place in the heaven or earth. Nor shall the lords nor gods take more notice of him than due respect and honor. Verse 11, whereupon the divine counsel, son of all light, spoke, saying, this also shall be part and parcel of the divine law, which is to say, of the later class rise the false gods and false lords, that often set up kingdoms of their own in atmospheria, they shall not rise above the second resurrection. See that? So with that being said, the limitation of angels belonging to the earth is the second resurrection, or second atmospheric plateau belonging to the earth. So if you are only for your nationality and do not engage with others due to their nationality, here lies your limitation, the second resurrection, or the second heaven, belonging to the earth. Now, in order to reach the Etherian worlds, the emancipated heavens, you got to pass the third resurrection belonging to the earth. And if you're stuck on nationality, you won't make it past the second resurrection. You cannot go to the high heavens boasting about your nationality or God, as stated in the book of Judgment, chapter 3, verse 44. Verse 44. And thou mayest call on thy idol at the gates of my heavens, but the gate shall not be open unto thee. For I will have no quarreling in my exalted kingdoms in heavens as to gods and lords and saviors. Now this verse shows how many are not worthy to enter the Father's kingdom, because half of you are still arguing about God, lords, and saviors. Each God, Lord, and Savior is backed by a nationality. So if you have not risen above nationality, you are not worthy of the Father's kingdom. As the verse stated, for I will have no quarreling in my exalted kingdoms in heaven as to gods, lords, and saviors. So to all my Israelites arguing over the name Yahweh, Yahweh, Ahia, Yahshua, Yahweh is not worthy of the Father's kingdom. Are you Kemetic brothers and sisters arguing over Egypt? Is not worthy of entering the Father's kingdom. Are you Muslims arguing over Allah, the different sets of Islam? Is not worthy of entering the Father's kingdom. All of these groups are locked into nationality, which keeps them divided, and a divided house cannot stand in the eyes of the Creator. A divided house can stand if you follow a false god, because that false god will use your nationality for his or her own personal conquests, inspiring followers to believe that their nationality is greater or better than another's nationality. And with this mentality, both nations fall short, while at the same time both nations may feel that they're the chosen. Now, in the book of East, daughter of Jehovah, chapter 1, verse 4 through 6, 9 through 11, 28, 37 through 40, it states, verse 4, Behold, the time draweth near when the nations of the earth shall course around the whole earth in ships, crossing the seas and oceans, to all the places I created. Verse 5, And those that have built in one place shall no longer say, This is our country. Verse 6, For I will no more have the nations of the earth locked up unto themselves, nor one continent exclusive to one people, nor one ocean, nor sea, nor port, nor river, for any nation or tribe of men. Verse 9, Now it shall come to pass, when the different nations and peoples begin to travel from one country to another, they will scornfully say of each other, Thou heathen, thou outside barbarian. Verse 10, For they will judge with men's eyes and with men's understanding, not comprehending the magnificence of the plans of my resurrection, which I provided unto them through my gods and goddesses. So these verses already dictate the nature of how man, or mortals, will act once nations begin to intermingle with each other, scorning one another like children, showing that we are still very much immature as a whole species when it comes to uniting and moving as a whole on a planetary level. Because we're still confined to our nationalities, our nations. And a divided house cannot stand in the eyes of the Creator. And this is why the Creator is trying to unify the whole and move as one body, because that spirituality supersedes nationality. Verse 11, As in former cycles, I sent unto the nations separately. So in Cosmon present time, I shall not send separately, but unto the whole world. As in former cycles, I sent leaders and commanding gods. So in Cosmon present time, I shall not send either earthly leaders or a worshipful God or Lord. Verse 28, But whatsoever people will not embrace me, the same will I not embrace. Their ports shall be bound up, Their lands and waters shall not be open unto others. Verily shall they attempt to be an exclusive people, and I will withdraw my exalted angels away from them, and they shall be encompassed with darkness. So here the Creator is raising the bar above nationality, unifying the human family in the Cosmon era, present time. And those nations who choose to be exclusive, the Creator will withdraw his holy angels, and darkness will preside over that nation. Verse 37, and they that live isolated and alone on earth shall be isolated and alone in the heavens of the earth. Man shall learn that affiliation and brotherhood unto others on earth shall find affiliation and brotherhood in the heavens of the earth. So here most people will be isolated based off their nationality. The same way you have religious sects isolated on earth, likewise in heaven. And they will stay divided until they learn to unify with others in righteous works. Now you could do a righteous work within your nation, but the righteous works done to the whole of all nations is a greater good than working isolated for a single nation or for a single purpose compared to a unified purpose. Verse 38, whosoever opens his soul in love and harmony unto others on earth shall find love and harmony in heaven. Verse 39, and the same rule shall apply to nations and peoples according to their love and harmony and the breadth of their liberality unto other nations and peoples. Even so shall be in the heavens of the earth, whither they shall migrate after death. See that? Verse 40. All these things of heaven and earth shall be made plain to man in Cosmon, present time. With his own eyes he shall behold the justice of his Creator. And Cosmon represents present time. So the barriers are off. The responsibility is in our own hands. Until you are purged of prejudice, hate, nationality, you will not ascend above the second resurrection after death, or the second atmospheric plateau belonging to the earth. For those nations who think they're going to rise above other nations through warfare and violence, you will not prosper. As many Israelites like to quote Revelations 13:10, where it states, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Now this is pertaining to the affairs of earth among warring nations. Now the result spiritually after your death by the sword is in such manner as stated in the book of Jehovah, chapter 8, verse 6 and 7, where it states, verse 6, and mortals who shall be slain in war shall be born in spirit in chaos on the battlefields. In chaos shall such spirits enter the east or spirit world, and they shall not know that they are dead as to earth life, but shall still keep fighting right and left. Verse 7, an enemy shall take enemy in these heavens and cast them in the places of torment which they have built, and they shall not know peace nor wisdom. See that? This is what you don't know because the Bible does not explain to you what happens after death, while the OAHSPE breaks it down in detail. See that? So the act of slavery done to us in America, those Europeans who committed the act are in chaos spiritually. Gang wars, religious wars, race wars, all participants are born spiritually in chaos after death who involve themselves in these behaviors. So technically there are no winners. Using warfare as a redemptive act to free a nation, the blood of that nation will be upon your hand. Now, in the book of Judgment, chapter 5, verse 22 and 23, it states, judge thou not, O Israel, who are apostate before thy God. I say unto thee, he that forsaketh Jehovah and worship Mammoth and the ways of the world is an apostate in my sight. For even though they maintain the rites and ceremonies, they have forsaken the spirit and truth of my commandment. Verse 23, whereas many who have forsaken the rites and ceremony in search of higher light are more to the ways of the Creator, Jehovah. See that? So again, showing you the difference between nationality and spirituality. You can be keeping the rites and ceremonies of your nation, but disregard the spirit of truth. Now, another nation has a different custom and culture. There would be a clash between the two nations eventually. But those seeking higher light, regardless of their nationality, may unite with others of a different nationality to move forward to do a righteous work, regardless of custom and culture or nationality. To move in such a manner is rising the bar above nationality to spirituality, and spirituality is to move as a whole. Now, in the book of East, Daughter of Jehovah, chapter 20, verse 37 through 39, it states, "But in this era I come not to an exclusive people, but to the combination of all peoples, commingled together as one people. Hence I have called this the Cosmon era," which is the present time. Verse 38, "Henceforth my chosen shall be of the amalgamated races, who choose me, and these shall become the best, most perfect of all peoples of the earth." Verse 39, "And they shall not consider race or color, but health and nobleness as to the mortal part, and as to spirit, peace, love, wisdom, and good works, and one great spirit only." See that? And to move in such a manner is spiritual indeed, not considering your nationality, but the behavior of your person, which is the expression of your spirit. If your nationality is above your spirituality, you will be confined to the second resurrection after death. If your spirituality is above your nationality, you will rise above the second resurrection into the third resurrection, and then off into the Etherian worlds, the emancipated heavens. And this is how and why spirituality is above nationality. And with that, I'd like to say peace and blessings. Shalom.